All right. Hello, I'm Lee. I'm going to do some reading of Genesis. Happy Sabbath. I've got pulled up here the Dead Sea Scrolls online. I've left links for everything, so if you want to go and check it out, links below. The Dead Sea Scrolls Bible. This is on Google Play Books. Brenton Septuagint, Genesis, got that pulled up as well. Got to make sure everybody can see it really good. I got the KJV online pulled up. Got the links for all that. Blue Letter Bible is pulled up, and the Targum text. This is a Targum website. I like this better than Sepharia, and don't believe everything you read in the Targums because they have Pharisee leaven in them, just like the rest of most of the stuff that we have. But they got good to compare, just to compare. The Pentateuch would be what they call the first 5 books of Moses. They don't have Jubilees, so they're missing part of Torah. This is Targum Pseudo-Jonathan, Targum Onkelos. They're missing Targum Neophiti, which I got all the books over there. But Pseudo-Jonathan's got some interesting things in there. So you just got to make sure you weed the leaven out. I don't know that there's a perfect translation, except for the Dead Sea Scrolls. If they translate them correct, should be a lot better before Pharisees. So, Genesis 1. Also, one thing here, when they talk about Sanhedrin, that's Pharisees. That's one thing that is in there. Anyways, so Genesis 1, I pulled up on here. I changed it to this is scroll view, so you can view individual scrolls. And this is book and chapter view, so you can view the chapters from the individual scrolls. So it makes it a little easier to go through and see what's in here. So we've got Genesis 1 from scroll 4Q2. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was formless and empty. Darkness was on the surface of the deep, and God's Spirit was hovering over the surface of the waters. And Yahuwah said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And Yahuwah saw the light, saw that it was good. Yahuwah divided light from the darkness. Now, what did he say first? Let there be light. What came first, the night or the day? Yahuwah called the light day, and the darkness he called night. So light, day first. There was evening and there was morning. So he created, and then there was evening and there was morning the first day. So light, day starts the beginning. Yahuwah said, "Let there be an expanse in the middle of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." Yahuwah made the expanse and divided the waters which were under the expanse from the waters which were above the expanse, and it was so. Yahuwah called the expanse sky. There was evening and there was morning, a second day. Now that's verses 1 through 7 there. Got 8. Doesn't look like we got verse 8 on that. Verse 8. Starts at verse 9 here. So verse 8. And Yahuwah called the firmament heaven, so the expanse, the firmament heaven, and Yahuwah saw that it was good, and there was evening, there was morning, the second day. verse 8 in the Septuagint is verse 7 in the Dead Sea Scrolls. So what's 9? You have said, let the water which is under the heaven be collected into one place, and let the dry land appear, and it was so. And the water which was under the heaven was collected into its places, and the dry land appeared. The dry land appeared. So 9. 7, 9. I wonder why they did that. You have said, let the waters under the sky be gathered together in one place, let the dry land appear, and it was so. You have called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters he called seas. You have saw that it was good. You have said, let the earth yield grass, herbs yielding seeds, and fruit trees bearing fruit after their kind, with their seeds in it on the earth, and it was so. The earth yielded grass, herbs yielding seed after their kind, and trees bearing fruit with their seeds in it after their kind, and Yahuwah saw that it was good. There was evening and there was morning a third day. And Yahuwah said, let there be lights in the expanse of the sky to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs to mark seasons, days, and years, and let them be for lights in the expanse of the sky to give light on the earth, and it was so. Yahuwah made the two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He also made the stars. So greater light, sun, 16. Two great lights, the greater light regulating the day, lesser for regulating the night. Yahuwah set them in the expanse of the sky, or the heavens, the firmament, to give light to the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. Yahuwah saw that it was good. There was evening and there was morning a fourth day. So he created, and then there was evening, then there was morning, day 4. Yahuwah said, let the waters abound with living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth in the open expanse of the sky. Yahuwah created large sea creatures and every living creature that moves, with which the waters swarmed after their kind, and every winged bird after its kind. Yahuwah saw that it was good. Yahuwah blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let birds multiply on the earth. There was evening and there was morning a 5th day. And Yahuwah said, let the earth produce living creatures after their kind, livestock, creeping things, and animals of the earth after their kind, and it was so. Yahuwah made the animals of the earth after their kind, and the livestock after their kind, and everything that creeps on the ground after its kind. Yahuwah saw that it was good. Yahuwah said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the air, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. Yahuwah created man in his own image. In Yahuwah's image he created him, male and female he created them. Yahuwah blessed them. Yahuwah said to them, be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, and subdue it. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the sky, and over every living thing that moves on the earth. So he said, let us make man in our image. So 26. And 26. And God, Elohim, H430, is Elohim is plural. Rulers, judges, divine ones, gods, plural. So you see here, he says, let us make man in our image. Now let me go back to that. That's going to be John 1:1. Do a little comparison. John 1:1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. So we know who the Word was, right? Nothing was made without him. John 1:14, and the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, Son, full of grace and truth. Colossians 1:16, for by him were all things created, that are in heaven, that are in the earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions, principalities, powers, all things were created by him and for him. I should have started with the verse before. Who is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature. Which is, going backwards. So let me go back here. Who, let's see, strengthened. You know what? I'll just read chapter. Colossians chapter 1. Paul, an apostle of Yahushua HaMashiach, by the will of Yahuwah, and Timotheus, our brother, to the saints and faithful brethren in Mashiach, which are at Colossae, grace be unto you, and peace from Yahuwah our Father and our Master Yahushua HaMashiach. We give thanks to Yahuwah and the Father of our Master Yahushua HaMashiach, praying always for you, since we heard of your faith in Yahushua and of the love which you have to all saints, for the hope which is laid up for you in heaven, whereof you heard before in the word of the truth of the gospel, which is come unto you as it is in all the world, and bringeth forth fruit, as it doth also in you, since the day you heard of it, and knew the grace of Yahuwah in truth, as you also learned of Epaphras, our dear fellow servant, who is for you a faithful minister of Mashiach, or Messiah, who also declared unto us your love, your love in the Spirit. For this cause we also, since the day we heard it, do not cease to pray for you, and to desire that you might be filled with the knowledge of his will and all wisdom and spiritual understanding, that you might walk worthy of Yahuwah, unto all pleasing, being fruitful in every good work, and increasing in the knowledge of Yahuwah, strengthened with all might according to his glorious power, unto all patience and long suffering with joyfulness, giving thanks unto the Father, which hath made us meet to be partakers of the inheritance of the saints in light, who hath delivered us from the power of darkness, and hath translated us into the kingdom of his dear Son, in whom we have redemption through his blood, even the forgiveness of sins, who is the image of the invisible Elohim, our God, the firstborn of every creature. For by him were all things created, that are in heaven, that are on earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones and dominions, or principalities, or powers. All things were created by him and for him. And he is before all things, and by him all things consist. So he's before all things. And I don't have Jubilees pulled up. Should pull Jubilees up. Jubilees. Book of Jubilees. Contents. Oh, Jubilees. It is. God's covenant with Abraham, I believe. Jubilees, let's see, that's 14. 15, I think it's 16. Next. 16. Morning. Okay, here we go. Took me long enough. Sorry. And Josh Ward, translated, aka Transfigured. Happy Sabbath. Let's see, Jubilee 16:26. And he blessed his Creator, who had created him in his generation, for he had created him according to his good pleasure. And this is Abraham here. For he knew and perceived that from him would arise the plan of righteousness for eternal generations, and from him a holy seed, so that it should become like him who made all things. Who made all things? Messiah. Who came in the flesh, a holy seed, plan of righteousness for eternal generations, Messiah. So, yep. Let us make man in our image. Father, Son. And Jubilees tells you that the angels were created on the first day and all the spirits were created on the first day. Who created them? Father and Son. So we got 28. Goes to 28. 29. I may go through and highlight some of these different changes they got here, but it's going to be hard to read every single scroll. So you got, should have went over this to begin with, is probably nowhere near perfect based on the World English Bible. Words in italic cannot be seen in the scroll. Since the scroll is fragmentary, these words are supplied for readability by the World English Bible translations. Words present in the scroll but some letters unreadable or missing are in blue like this. One Hebrew word often is translated into multiple English words, and when this occurs, all the English words are in blue. Words present in the scroll but with spelling differences that do not affect the meaning are in green, common in Hebrew. If the scroll is different from the traditional text, words in the traditional text that are missing from the text of the scroll are marked through like this. And if the scroll is different from traditional text, words in the scroll that are not in the traditional text are in red like this. So you've got right here in 9, it says, let the waters under the sky be gathered together in one place. Not the scroll. The scroll says collection. Not a big difference. 9 here, you have said, let the waters under the sky be gathered together to one place, and let dry land appear. And it was so, and the waters under the sky were gathered together into their place, and the dry land appeared. So not big differences. 29, and Yahuwah said, behold, I have given to you every herb, every seed-bearing herb, sowing seed which is upon all the earth, and every tree which has in itself the fruit of seed that is sown. To you it shall be for food, and to all the wild beasts of the earth, and to all flying creatures of heaven, and to every reptile creeping on the earth, which has in itself the breath of life. even every green plant for food, and it was so. And Yahuwah saw all the things that he had made, and behold, they were very good. And there was evening, there was morning, the sixth day. So 28. Yeah. Chapter 2. Genesis 2 from scroll 4Q10. The heavens, the earth, and all their vast array were finished. On the seventh day, Yahuwah finished his work which he had done, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had done. Yahuwah blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because he rested in it from all his work of creation which he had done. And got it. I'm not sure if that's just translation or it says on the seventh day he finished his work. And the Septuagint says on the sixth day he ceased on the seventh day from all his works. So it may just be a translation. He didn't work on the Sabbath. It says all the work finished, their host, seventh day finished, rested, all the work he made. Genesis 2. On the seventh day, Yahuwah ended his work which he had made, rested on the seventh day. Targum, pseudo Jonathan. Be an interesting time to check the Targum. And the creatures of the heavens and earth and all the hosts of them were completed, and Yahuwah had finished by the seventh day, work which he had wrought. And that's where you get the 10 formations. Yeah. Their Lord. Yes. You can see their doctrine spewed in there. Let's go to, no. Ankelos. And what I just highlighted back there in Jonathan's not in the book. Kind of weird. Like they mess with stuff. 2 in Ankelos, Genesis 2, and the heavens and the earth and all their hosts were completed, and Yahuwah finished in the seventh day his work which he had wrought, and rested in the seventh day from all his work which he had wrought. And Yahuwah blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because seventh day made it holy, because in it he rested from all his work which Yahuwah had created to make. So we got 3 there. Next up, 6. This is the book of the generation of heaven and earth, when they were made, in the day in which Yahuwah made the heaven and the earth, and every herb of the field before it was on the earth, and all the grass of the field before it sprang up. For Yahuwah had not rained on the earth, and there was not a man to cultivate it. No rain yet. 6. But a mist went up from the earth and watered the whole surface of the ground. And Yahuwah, Elohim, so that's the first time they've got his name in scriptures. Genesis 2, verse 7. Yahuwah Elohim formed man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. And see at this website of the Dead Sea Scrolls, 2 verse 7, and then you go over here, 2 verse 7, and what do they have? And the Lord God. So it's either one or the other. Somebody's lying. Yeah. 2, 7, our Septuagint, and God. 2:7 and KJV, Lord God. And I found something interesting in my scriptures the other day. Probably don't have it on the website. No. It's in the back of my KJV though. What in the world? Names. It'd be hard to yeah, I'm gonna have to find that, see if they've got a definition online. So anyways, I got it right here. So 7, 8, going to 14, 8 to 14, and 8. And Yahuwah planted a garden eastward in Eden, and placed there the man whom he had formed. And Yahuwah made to spring up also out of the earth every tree beautiful to the eye and good for food, and the tree of life in the midst of the garden, and the tree of learning, the knowledge of good and evil. And a river proceeds out of Eden to water the garden. Thence it divides itself into 4 heads. The name of the one is Pasan. This is it which encircles the whole land of Evelet, or Eden, where there is gold, and the gold of that land is good. There is also carbuncle and emerald, and the name of the second river is Gihon. That this is it which encircles the whole land of Ethiopia. And so the land of gold is not Ethiopia, because it's 2 different ones here. And the third river is Tigris. This is that which floweth forth over against the Assyrians. And the fourth river is Euphrates. So third river, fourth river. And if you look, name of the first is Pasan. That is it which encompasseth the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold, and the gold of that land is good. The second is Gihon, that encompasses Ethiopia. So where's the land of the river out of the land of Eden? So, land of Eden, gold. 14. The name of the third river is Hiddekel. This is the one which flows in front of Assyria. The fourth river is Euphrates. Yahuwah, Elohim, took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden to cultivate and keep it. So Adam was made and then put into the Garden of Eden. Yahuwah, Elohim, commanded the man, saying, You may freely eat of every tree of the garden, but you shall not eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for in the day that you eat of it, you will surely die. And Yahuwah said, It is not good for man to be alone. I will make him a helper comparable to him. And out of the ground Yahuwah Elohim formed every animal of the field and every bird of the sky, and brought them to the man to see what he would call them. Whatever the man called every living creature became its name. So 17. Got 17 and 18 down here in another scroll. But you shall not eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for in the day you eat of it you will surely die. Yahuwah Elohim said, "It is not good for the man to be alone, but I will make a helper comparable to him." So, oh, okay, here's 17. I thought 17 was missing. So we got up to 19. And Yahuwah formed yet farther out of the earth all the wild beasts of the field, all the birds of the sky. And he brought them to Adam to see what he would call them, and whatever Adam called any living creature, that was the name of it. 19. And Adam gave names to all the cattle and to all the birds of the sky and to all the wild beasts of the field. But for Adam there was not found a help like to himself. And Yahuwah brought a trance upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and filled up the flesh instead thereof. And Yahuwah formed the rib which he took from Adam into a woman, and brought her to Adam. And Adam said, "This now is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of her husband. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they two shall be one flesh." And the two were naked, both Adam and his wife, and were not ashamed. All right, I'm going to take a short break. I'll be right back. All right, back. Had to take a quick restroom break. Colossians 1:15 through 16. Yep, exactly. So Genesis 3, verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any animal of the field which Yahuwah Elohim had made. He said to the woman, "Has Yahuwah really said, you shall not eat of any tree of the garden?" The woman said to the serpent, "We may eat fruit from the trees of the garden." That's missing. So 3. But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Yahuwah said, "You shall not eat of it, neither shall you touch it, lest you die." And the serpent said to the woman, "You shall not surely die. For Yahuwah knows that in whatever day you should eat of it, your eyes would be open, and you would be as gods, knowing good and evil." Up to 11. And the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes to look upon, and beautiful to contemplate. And having taken of its fruit, she ate, and she gave to her husband also with her, and they ate. And the eyes of both were open, and they perceived that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together, and made themselves aprons to go round them. And they heard the voice of Yahuwah Elohim walking in the garden in the afternoon, and both Adam and his wife hid themselves from the face of Yahuwah in the midst of the trees of the garden. And Yahuwah called Adam and said to him, "Adam, where art thou?" And he said to him, "I heard thy voice as thou walkest in the garden, and I feared because I was naked, and I hid myself." And Yahuwah said to him, "Who told thee that thou wast naked? Unless thou hast eaten of the tree concerning which I charged thee of it alone not to eat." Close that door. So 11. Oh. Yahuwah said, "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree that I commanded you not to eat from?" The man said, "The woman whom you gave to be with me, she gave me the fruit from the tree, and I ate it." So, pretty much placing blame on Yahuwah. "The woman you gave me." Yahuwah Elohim said to the woman, "What have you done?" The woman said, "The serpent deceived me, and I ate." Yahuwah Elohim said to the serpent, "Because you have done this, you are cursed above all livestock and above every animal of the field. You shall go in your belly, and you shall eat dust all the days of your life." Well, blaming the woman also. She gave me fruit of the tree, and I ate it. 14. All the days of your life, and I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. He shall watch against thy head, and thou shalt watch against his heel. And to the woman he said, "I will greatly multiply thy pains and thy groanings. In pain thou shalt bring forth children, and thy submission shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee." And to Adam he said, "Because thou hast hearkened to the voice of thy wife, and eaten of the tree concerning which I charged of thee of it only not to eat, of that thou hast eaten, cursed is the ground in thy labors, in pain shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. Thorns and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat thy bread until thou return to the earth out of which thou wast taken. For earth thou art, and to earth thou shalt return." And Adam called the name of his wife Life, because she was the mother of all living. And Yahuwah Elohim made for Adam and his wife garments of skin and clothed them. And 20. Life also called his wife's name Eve. 3:20. Genesis 3:20. Eve. Hauah. No B's in ancient Hebrew. Eve, or life. So Septuagint has life. Same thing. And Yahuwah said, "Behold, Adam has become as one of us." There's that us again. "To know good and evil, and now lest at any time he stretch forth his hand and taketh the tree of life and eat, and so he shall live forever." So Yahuwah sent him forth out of the garden of delight, to cultivate the ground out of which he was taken. And he cast out Adam and caused him to dwell over against the garden of delight, and stationed the cherubs and the fiery sword that turns about to keep the way of the tree of life. So you got garden of where's that? Garden of Eden. Sent him forth from the Garden of Eden. Eden, pleasure or delight. So, and on Kelos, Targum on Kelos, 3:20. It is, where is that? Targum, Pseudo Jonathan, chapter 3. Where's that? 2, 3. That's the interesting thing with the Targums. Like here it says, walking in the garden in the strength of the day, and the word of Yahuwah called to Adam and said to him, Behold, the world which I created is manifest before me, and how thinkest thou that the place in the midst whereof thou art is not revealed before me? Where is the commandment which I taught thee? Commandments. The word, know who the word is. It's very interesting. And where's it at? Here we go. Another interesting thing, because thou hast done this, cursed thou art of all cattle and all the beasts of the field. Upon thy belly thou shalt go, and thy feet shall be cut off, and thy skin shalt thou cast away once in 7 years. The poison of death shall be in thy mouth, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between the seed of thy son and the seed of her sons. And it shall be, when the sons of the woman keep the commandments of the law, they will be prepared to smite thee upon the head, but when they forsake the commandments of the law, thou wilt be ready to wound them in the heel. Nevertheless, for them there shall be a medicine, but for thee there will be no medicine, and they shall make a remedy for the heel in the days of the king Mashiach. King Messiah. And it's interesting because, and I think, maybe that's the reason they mess with the Dead Sea Scrolls a little bit. You notice how in the New Testament he says, if you bitten by a snake and you're a follower of the way, then it won't harm you. That's pretty much what this is saying right here. Let's see if I can find it. Snakes. Amos. Don't know where's that. I think it's in the same passage of poison. Look up here. Drink poison. Snakes won't harm. I know it's in there somewhere. There we go. Mark 16 says, okay. These signs will follow them that believe, and that believe, Hebrews chapter 4, keep his commandments. It says in Hebrews chapter 4, if you don't keep the Sabbath, you're in unbelief, no faith. So them that believe, keep his commandments. In my name shall they cast out devils, they shall speak with new tongues, they shall take up serpents, and if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. They shall lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover. That kind of matches what the Targum says. And is it another place or just Mark? I thought it was in Matthew too. Snakes won't harm. Try that. It's interesting to check it out. I always compare scripture to scripture. There we go. Luke, let's go back a little bit. 10:18, he said, and then I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. Behold, I give you unto you the power to tread on serpents and scorpions, and over the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you. So it's second witness, Luke. He's talking to, he said to the serpent, because thou hast done this, cursed art thou of all cattle and all the beasts of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and thy feet shall be cut off. Thy skin thou shalt cast away once in 7 years. And the poison of death shall be in the mouth, and death shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between the seed of thy son and the seed of her sons. And it shall be when the sons of the woman keep the commandments of the law, they will be prepared to smite thee upon the head, but when they forsake the commandments of the law, they will be ready to wound them in their heel. Matches. Tread on serpents. Something to consider. So, let's see. Very sword to keep the way of the tree of life. Chapter 4. So, verse 2. Here in the World English Bible inserts, let us go into the field on the basis of the Septuagint, LXX. That phrase is not in the Masoretic text. 4. And Adam knew Eve his wife, and she conceived and brought forth Cain, and said, I have gained a man through Yahuwah. That serpent seed doctrine? Negative. Satan would be with the fallen angels right now if he had done that. Negatory. She gained a man through Yahuwah. Again, she gave birth to Cain's brother Abel. Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. As time passed, Cain brought an offering to Yahuwah from the fruit of the ground. Abel also brought some of the firstborn of his flock and of his fat, Yahuwah respecting Abel and his offering. But he didn't respect Cain and his offering. Cain was very angry, and the expression on his face fell. Yahuwah said to Cain, why are you angry? Why has the expression of your face fallen? If you do well, won't it be lifted up? If you don't do well, sin crouches at the door. Its desire is for you, but you are to rule over it. Cain said to Abel, his brother, and while they were in the field, Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and killed him. So that's Cain said to Abel, his brother. It's missing there. 1. Let us go into the field. Okay, said to his brother, let us go into the field. So that's where that comes in. While they were in the field, Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and killed him. Yahuwah said to Cain, where is Abel your brother? He said, I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper? Yahuwah said, what have you done? The voice of your brother's blood cries to me from the ground. Now you are cursed because of the ground, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. Verse 12, when thou tillest the earth, then it shall not continue to give its strength to thee. Thou shalt be groaning and trembling on the earth. And Cain said to Yahuwah, my crime is too great for me to be forgiven. If thou castest me out this day from the face of the earth, and I shall be hidden from thy presence, and I shall be groaning and trembling upon the earth, then it will be that anyone that finds me shall slay me. And Yahuwah said to him, not so. Anyone that slays Cain shall suffer a 7-fold vengeance. And Yahuwah set a mark upon Cain, that no one that found him might slay him. So Cain went forth from the presence of Yahuwah, and dwelt in the land of Nod over against Eden. And Cain knew his wife, and having conceived, she bore Enoch, not the same Enoch. And he built a city, and he named the city after the name of his son Enoch. And to Enoch was born Gadad, and to Gadad begat Malalel, and Malalel begat Methuselah, and Methuselah begat Lamech. And Lamech took to himself 2 wives. The name of the one was Adah, and the name of the second Selah. And Adah bore Jobal. He was the father of those that dwell in tents, feeding cattle, and the name of his brother was Jubal. He it was who invented the psaltery and the harp, and Selah also bore Thobal. He was a smith, a manufacturer both of brass and iron. And the sister of Thobal was Naamah. And Lamech said to his wives, Adah and Selah, hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech, consider my words, because I have slain a man to my sorrow, and a youth to my grief, because vengeance has been exacted 7 times on Cain's behalf. On Lamech's it shall be 70 times 7. So he's fearing for the same punishment that Cain got. And Adam knew his wife, and she conceived and bore a son, and called his name Seth, saying, For Yahuwah has raised up to me another seed instead of Abel. So she's thanking God for her next son, which came with Adam, whom Cain slew. And Seth had a son, and he called his name Enos. He hoped to call on the name of Yahuwah. He hoped to call on the name of Yahuwah. And they did call on the name of Yahuwah. If you go to Jubilees, Cain and Abel, chapter 4, made him a fugitive on the earth because of the blood of his brother, and he cursed him. On this account is written on the heavenly tables, cursed is he who smiteth his neighbor treacherously, and let all who have seen it and heard it say, so be it. And the man who hath seen it and not declared it, let him be accursed as the other. And for this reason we announce when we come before Yahuwah all the sin which is committed in heaven and on earth, in light and in darkness and everywhere. And Adam and his wife mourned for Abel 4 weeks of years, and the 4th year of the 5th week they became joyful. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare him a son, and called his name Seth. For he said, Yahuwah raised up a second seed unto us on the earth instead of Abel, for Cain slew him. And first year is Seth took Azurah, his sister, to be his wife, and in the 4th year of the 6th week she bare him Enos. He began to call on the name of Yahuwah on the earth. Azurah. Yeah, see, the sisters or daughters of Adam and Eve are not mentioned. And Seth had a son, he called his name Enos. They're not mentioned because they're in the book of Jubilees. Jubilees goes with Genesis. So, he had a sister. If you look at, say, Enos took Noamon, his sister, to be his wife. Yeah. And she gave birth, in the 5th, she gave birth to her daughter Awan. And Garden of Eden, they dwelt in the land of Eldah, the land of their creation. Yeah. Jubilees is absolutely beautiful book. And where's it at? Canaan took Mahulaleth, his sister. See, all they had were sisters. Who else are they going to take? So, chapter 5. So we got, all we've got is 13. Yeah, they've messed with the Dead Sea Scrolls, so surely they had more than that. Oh, we'll take this little piece out here so they won't know. So Genesis 5, this is the genealogy of the man in the day in which Yahuwah made Adam. In the image of Yahuwah he made him, male and female, he made them and blessed them, and he called his name Adam in the day in which he made them. And Adam lived 230 years and begot a son after his own form and after his own image, and he called his name Seth. In the days of Adam which he lived after begetting Seth were 700 years, and he begat sons and daughters, and all the days of Adam which he lived were 930 years, and he died. Now Seth lived 205 years and begat Enos, and Seth lived after begetting Enos 707 years, and he begat sons and daughters, and all the days of Seth were 912 years, and he died. And Enos lived 190 years and begat Canaan, and Enos lived after begetting Canaan 715 years, and he begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Enos were 905 years, and he died. And Canaan lived 107 years and begat Mahalalel. And Canaan lived after his begetting Mahalalel 740 years, and he begat sons and daughters. It says, and here Canaan lived after he began the father of Mahalalel 840 years and became the father of sons and daughters. So 840 years. Canaan. $740. So Septuagint's got 740. Dead Sea Scrolls got 840. Now you get to go on the wild goose chase. Because somebody thinks they can change scripture. That's annoying. Not 6, Genesis 5. Genesis 5. Canaan lived after he begot Mahalalel 840 years. And it says Canaan lived 70 years and begot Mahalalel. And Canaan lived 170 years and begot Mahalalel. So here, as Canaan lived 170 years, here is Canaan lived 70 years. The Dead Sea Scrolls matches the KJV as far as we know, unless they've changed it. You go to Jubilees. At the close of the 8th Jubilee, okay, calculator out, 8th Jubilee, Jubilee is 49 years, so that's 392. Bear him a son in the 9th Jubilee, in the first week, in the 3rd year of the week. So yeah, see they got the 392 right here. 395 in the 9th Jubilee, 1st week, 3rd year, called his name Mahalalel. So Canaan was born 3rd year of the 5th week. $325. So 7th Jubilee in the 3rd week. So calculator. 7 times 49. 343. 7th Jubilee. No, it'd be 6. Because the 7th's not over yet. So 6 Jubilees, 294. 7th Jubilee, 295. In the 3rd year, the 5th week. So 4 times 7, plus 294. 4 times 7. Okay, 4 times 7 plus 294 equals 322. Third year of the 5th week plus 3, 325. All right, so that's correct, 325. So Cain is born 325, and then 395, Canaan has a son. So 395 minus 325 equals 70. 70 years. Canaan lived 70 years and begot Mahalalel. So in this genealogy, chapter 5, it looks like the KJV wins over the Septuagint. Jubilees backs it up, Dead Sea Scrolls backs it up, Third Witness KJV, Septuagint's over here on an island. So if we go to chapter 5 in the Targums, we got Canaan, Jared, nope, not Jared yet. Canaan, let's see, lived 70 years and begot Mahalalel. Canaan lived after he begot Mahalalel 840 years. Now, you'll notice when you get to, I think, Genesis chapter 10 genealogy, it gets all twisted up, but we ain't there yet. Nope, not now. So this is on Kelos. You've got Canaan lived 70 years, begot Mahalalel. 840 years, begot sons and daughters. Alright? So, looks correct. So 13. So you can take this here. Seth lived 105 years and we got Enos. Looks like KJV is correct. KJV wins. And all the days of Canaan were 910 years, and he died. And Mahalalel lived 65 years and begot Jared. And Mahalalel lived after he begot Jared 830 years and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Mahalalel were 895 years, and he died. And Jared lived 162 years, and he begot Enoch. And Jared lived after he begot Enoch 800 years and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Jared were 962 years, and he died. And Enoch lived 65 years and begot Methuselah. And Enoch walked with Yahuwah after he begot Methuselah 300 years and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Enoch were 365 years. And Enoch walked with Yahuwah, and he was not, for Yahuwah took him. And Methuselah lived 187 years and begot Lamech. And Methuselah lived after he begot Lamech 782 years and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Methuselah were 969 years, and he died. And Lamech lived 182 years and begot a son. And he called his name Noah, saying, This same shall comfort us concerning our work and the toil of our hands, because of the ground which Yahuwah hath cursed. And Lamech lived after he begot Noah 595 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Lamech were 777 years, and he died. And Noah was 500 years old, and Noah begat Shem, Ham, and Japheth. So, and the main reason I lean toward the Genesis 5 being correct is the Jubilees account. But, so we got 5, 6, chapter 6. And itchy beard. 13. I hadn't even looked at this. See here, 6, 13, yeah. 13 up to 13 here. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. All right, and Genesis chapter 6. And it came to pass when men began to be numerous upon the earth, and daughters were born to them, that the sons of Yahuwah, having seen the daughters of men that they were beautiful, took to themselves wives of all whom they chose. And Yahuwah said, My spirit shall certainly not remain among these men forever, because they are flesh, but their days shall be 120 years. Let's see. Not always strive with man, for he is also flesh. Now the giants were upon the earth in those days, and after that, when the sons of Yahuwah were wont to go in unto the daughters of men, they bore children to them. Those were the giants of old, the men of renown. And Yahuwah, having seen that the wicked actions of men were multiplied upon the earth, and that every one in his heart was intently brooding over evil continually, then Yahuwah laid it to heart that he had made man upon the earth, and he pondered it deeply. And Yahuwah said, I will blot out man whom I have made from the face of the earth, even man with cattle and reptiles, with flying creatures of the sky, for I am grieved that I have made them. But Noah found grace before Yahuwah, and these are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man, being perfect in his generation. Noah was well pleasing to Yahuwah. And Noah begat 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. But the earth was corrupted before Yahuwah, and the earth was filled with iniquity, lawlessness. 13. And Yahuwah saw that the earth, and it was corrupted, because all flesh had corrupted its way upon the earth. So we got 13 there. I want to pull up Enoch. Jubilees gives more detail. Enoch gives more detail. Let's see here. Chapter. Very interesting thing I found with Enoch was when you see Genesis chapter 6, verse 2. Sons of God saw the daughters of men that were fair. They took them wives of all which they chose. When you look at Enoch, chapter 6, verse 2, and the angels, the children of heaven, saw and lusted after them, and said to one another, Come, let us choose wives from among the children of men, and beget us children. Very interesting. It's like it was made that way on purpose. Matches up. Children of men and multiplied, those days were born to them beautiful daughters. And Semyaza, who was their leader, said unto them, I fear you will not indeed agree to do this deed, and I alone shall have to pay the penalty of a great sin. And they all answered him and said, Let us all swear an oath, and all bind ourselves by mutual imprecations, not to abandon this plan, but to do this thing. Then swore they all together, all the fallen angels, and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. And there were in all 200 who descended in the days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon, and they called it Mount Hermon because they had sworn and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. And these are the names of their leaders: Simeazaz, their leader, Arekabel, Ramael, Kokabel, Tamael, Ramael, Daniel, Ezekiel, Berekijel, Aziel, Armoros, Batarel, Ananel, Zachael, Samsapil, Setarel, Turel, Jamjael, Seriel. I probably messed them all up. These are their chiefs of tens. So, Genesis 6, Enoch 6. Very interesting. You go to chapter 5 of Jubilees, and it came to pass when the children of men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the angels of Yahuwah, the sons of Yahuwah, saw them on a certain year of this Jubilee, that they were beautiful to look upon, and they took themselves wives of all whom they chose, and they bare unto them sons, and they were giants. And lawlessness increased on the earth. And all flesh corrupted its way, alike men and cattle and beasts and birds and everything that walketh on the earth. All of them corrupted their ways and their orders, and they began to devour each other, and lawlessness increased on the earth, and every imagination of the thoughts of all men was thus evil continually. So, and Yahuwah looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, and all flesh had corrupted its orders, and all that were upon the earth had wrought all manner of evil before his eyes. And he said, I will destroy man and all flesh upon the face of the earth which I have created. But Noah found grace before the eyes of Yahuwah, and against the angels whom he had sent upon the earth he was exceeding wroth, and he gave commandment to root them out of all their dominion, and he bade us to bind them in the depths of the earth, and behold, they are bound in the midst of them, and are kept separate. And against their sons went forth a command from before his face, that they should be smitten with the sword, and be removed from under heaven. And he said, Thy spirit will not always abide on man, for they also are flesh, and their days shall be 120 years. So same here. And he sent his sword into their midst, into the midst of the giants, that they should slay his neighbor, and they began to slay each other, till they all fell by the sword, and were destroyed from the earth. And their fathers were witnesses of their destruction. And after this they were bound in the depths of the earth forever, until the day of great condemnation, when judgment is executed on all those who have corrupted their ways and their works before Yahuwah. And he destroyed all from their places. There was not left one of them whom he judged not, according to all their wickedness. That's the day of judgment. And the judgment of all is ordained and written on the heavenly tables in righteousness, even the judgments of all who depart from the path which is ordained for them to walk in. If they walk not therein, judgment is written down for every creature and for every kind. Plenty more you can read. What was I going to look at? Oh yeah, Noah found grace. So if you look at, where's that? As in the days of Noah. What are we looking for? First Peter 3:20. 3:19. For Messiah hath once suffered for sins, the just for the unjust, that he might bring us to Elohim, to Yahuwah, being put to death in the flesh, but quickened by the Spirit, by which also he went and preached unto the spirits in prison, Sheol, which sometime were disobedient, when once the long suffering of Yahuwah waited in the days of Noah, while the ark was preparing, wherein few, that is 8 souls, were saved by water. The like figure whereunto even baptism doth also now save us, not the putting away of the filth of the flesh, but the answer of a good conscience towards Yahuwah by the resurrection of Yahusha. I don't know why he's got that in there. In parentheses, 1 Peter 3:21. Baptism, so it says, the like figure whereunto even baptism does also now save us, not the putting away of the filth of the flesh. Well, they got Greek words for it right here. Anyways, and days of Noah. What was I getting to? There we go. Okay, so Matthew 24:37. But as the days of Noah were, so also shall be the coming of the Son of Man. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark. So, carrying on as normal. And knew not until the flood came and took them all away, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Now we look here at Jubilees and Genesis. Lawlessness increased on the earth. That's the wickedness on the earth, iniquity. So let's see here. Yeah, see. But the earth was corrupted and the earth was filled with iniquity. That's what he's talking about, the days of Noah. What do we have now in our day? Same exact thing. Same exact thing. That's the days of Noah. The days of Noah have returned. Isaiah 24. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men are left. All over Scripture. So we're on 13. That's the days of Noah. Wickedness. Yahuwah said to Noah, I will bring an end to all flesh, for the earth is filled with violence through them. Behold, I will destroy them and the earth. Make a ship of gopher wood. You shall make rooms in the ship, and shall seal it inside and outside with pitch. This is how you shall make it. The length of the ship shall be 300 cubits, its width 50 cubits, and its height 30 cubits. You shall make a roof in the ship. You shall finish it to a cubit upward. You shall set the door of the ship in its side. You shall make it with lower, second, and third levels. Even I, do bring the flood of waters on this earth to destroy all flesh having the breath of life from under the sky. Everything that is in the earth will die, but I will establish my covenant with you. You shall come into the ship, you, your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives with you. Of everything of all flesh you shall bring 2 of every sort into the ship, to keep them alive with you. They shall be male and female. Of the birds after their kind, of the livestock after their kind, of every creeping thing of the ground after its kind. 2 of every sort will come to you, to keep them alive. Take with you some of all the food that is eaten, and gather it to yourself, and it will be for food for you and for them. 21. And Noah did all things whatsoever Yahuwah commanded him, so did he. missing a big chunk. Next scroll, chapter 12. So, chapter 7 in Septuagint, and Yahuwah said to Noah, Enter thou and all thy family into the ark, for thee I have seen righteous before me in this generation. Righteous. Righteous. He saved the righteous. Deuteronomy 6:4. Noah was righteous. Let's see. No, it's not 6:24. 6. Yeah, here we go. 6:25. Deuteronomy. And it shall be for our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before Yahuwah as he hath commanded us. So Noah was righteous, doing the commandments. And of the clean cattle take in these sevens. So there's clean animals, sevens, male and female, and the unclean cattle, pairs, male and female. Pairs, one pair. So you got clean animals to eat and unclean animals to not eat. And of clean flying creatures of the sky, sevens, male and female, and all unclean flying creatures, pairs, male and female. So one pair. To maintain seed on all the earth. So you can eat some of these and they're still going to reproduce. You don't eat these. You got one pair. For yet 7 days having passed, I bring rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights, and I will blot out every offspring which I have made from the face of all the earth. And Noah did all things whatsoever Yahuwah commanded him, and Noah was 600 years old when the flood of water was upon the earth. And then went in Noah and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives with him into the ark, because of the water of the flood, and of clean flying creatures and unclean flying creatures, and of clean cattle and of unclean cattle, and of all things that creep upon the earth. Pairs went in to Noah into the ark, male and female, as Yahuwah commanded Noah. And it came to pass after 7 days that the water of the flood came upon the earth, in the 600th year of the life of Noah, in the 2nd month, on the 27th day of the month. On this day all the fountains of the abyss were broken up, and the floodgates of heaven were opened. Interesting there. Chapter 6, no, 7. Yep, of clean beast. Yep. Of every clean beast, take by sevens. Beasts that are not clean, by 2. And Sarah was not righteous. Yeah. And Jubilees gives you a little more detail. This is Jubilees 5. 19. As for those who corrupted their ways and their thoughts before the flood, no man's person was accepted save that of Noah alone, for his person was accepted in behalf of his sons, whom Yahuwah saved from the waters of the flood on his account. For his heart was righteous in all his ways, according as it was commanded regarding him, and he had not departed from all that was ordained for him. In the 2nd month, 27th day. It's interesting here. at Noah. It says the second month. The new moon of the second month till the 16th. He entered, and all that we brought to him into the ark, and Yahuwah closed it on the 17th evening. And Yahuwah opened the 7 floodgates of heaven. So the 17th, second month, second Hebrew month, so around May 17th. Second month, 17th. Second month, 27th. Second month, 17th. KJV. Got it. Jubilees also tells you that Paradise in the Fall was in the 4th month, went forth. Hello. Gotta have a backup. Jubilees. Very good. Should match Paradise in the Fall. Same day the ark was closed by Yahuwah. After the completion, second month, 17th day, the serpent came and approached the woman. So verse 17. Second month, 17th day. There it is. Yeah, good to have it back up. So the fall in the garden is the second month, 17th day. Matches KJV and matches Jubilees for when the ark was closed. So the judgment came, the flood came at the same time they transgressed in the garden. Second month, 17th day. Floodgates from heaven are open. Not the 27th day. Septuagint proven wrong again. On this day, I like the Septuagint, but some parts some parts are not right. On this day all the fountains of the abyss were broken up, and the floodgates of heaven were opened, and the rain was upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. On that very day entered Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, the sons of Noah, and the wife of Noah, and the 3 wives of his sons with him into the ark. And all the wild beasts after their kind, and all the cattle after their kind, and every reptile moving itself on the earth after its kind, every flying bird after its kind. When it in to Noah into the ark, pairs, male and female, of all flesh, in which there is the breath of life. And they that entered went in male and female, of all flesh, as Yahuwah commanded Noah, and Yahuwah shut the ark outside of him. And the flood was upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights, and the water abounded greatly, and bore up the ark, and it was lifted on high from off the earth. And the water prevailed and abounded exceedingly upon the earth, and the ark was borne upon the water. And the water prevailed exceedingly upon the earth, and covered all the high mountains which were under heaven. 15 cubits upward was the water raised, and it covered all the high mountains. And there died all flesh that moved upon the earth, of flying creatures and cattle, and of wild beasts, and every reptile moving upon the earth, and every man, and all things which have the breath of life, and whatever was on the dry land died. And Yahuwah blotted out every offspring which was upon the face of the earth, both man and beast, and reptiles and birds of the sky, and they were blotted out from the earth. And Noah was left alone, and those with him in the ark, and the water was raised over the earth 150 days. So that's chapter 7. Having technical difficulties here. Chapters 1 through 7. Alright. I think I'm gonna stop it there. That's weird, it won't go to 8. Maybe that's my cue. Alright, well, hope that was helpful, and happy Sabbath.